Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Noobcraft server with me, DarknessRoaming. So it's been sort of a busy week in real life for me, so I don't feel like I've got much done on the server, but I've got a new farm, I've got new products in my stores, and I'm starting to work on some plans for building around the base. So let's kind of go through that stuff. So I've got two new products in my store. So I now have magma blocks. I've got them at 6 diamonds per stack. I've kind of come down on the price since I first put them out. It's still kind of a manual farm. So that's why I'm pricing it a little bit more expensive. And then in here, I've got magma cream. And magma cream you can use for potions. You can also use them to craft the magma blocks. And you need 4 of the cream to make 1 magma block, which is why they're probably, again, more expensive than the other stuff. And that is with a new farm. So let's go take a look at that farm. I'm going to jump cut here real quick while I run through. Alright, so here we are approaching the farm. This is by far the biggest, most farmiest thing I've ever built, and I'm awfully proud of myself. I'm going to show a time lapse of the build here shortly. But I did do some cleanup. This is the second version of this farm. My first one was extremely deadly, very deadly. And this hole is sort of a reminder of that first farm. So I used a tutorial by Avomance. And he did his in creative. And he built the platform first instead of just the rings bordering the platform. And so I did the same thing. And then he built the walls, and I tried to do the same thing. And then he did the glass ceiling, and I tried to do the same thing with that. I didn't get very far. Magma cubes spawned. They killed me repeatedly. Like 15 times the first day, and then I kind of hung it up and tried it again the second day, and they killed me some more. And it was so bad that magma cubes were raining off the sides and falling down here, and ghasts were spawning on the platform, and I didn't want to kill anybody else, and so I asked the admin to just kind of delete my build, and I would start over again. And so this is the second version of this farm. So I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to cut over to the time lapse of the build so you can kind of see how I do it, and then I'll kind of walk you through some of the edits I made while I was building. Okay, so here we are at the farm. I've turned down the ambient noise. I've turned down the noises a little bit, but not all the way. But you can see this is a lot. But you just, like Avomance had in his farm, you just kind of kill them as they fall down, and you get a ton of experience, and you can repair your equipment and your tools. So I now have a full set of, on my full set of diamond, I've got mending on everything. I've got mending on my sword, several pickaxes, a diamond axe, some shovels or spoons. I've got anvils here for doing stuff with your weapons. I've got, or doing stuff with gear, so putting enchantments on. Well, you don't have to repair them because of this place, but putting enchantments on. I've got grindstones if you want to remove them. I've got kind of a holding box here with extra anvils. I've got 2 double chests for all of the stuff to go through with, and I upgraded my sword to a looting 3 and added sharpness to it. And so with the looting 3, you get more magma cube, or magma cream rather, from the magma cubes. And then I also get a ton of magma cube heads. So that's kind of cool too. I put an ender chest in here just so that I can keep, so I have access to my stuff. But I wanted an XP farm that I can mend things, but something a little bit different. And then I wanted magma blocks, but didn't really want to go down into the nether and farm that stuff myself. So, like I said earlier, you can make magma blocks from magma cream. You just put them in a 2x2 recipe and you get magma blocks. And you can use those for elevators to go down to that block, or make a downward elevator. You can also use it to kill things. So magma blocks are rather useful. I'll just go ahead and take that so I clear my box here. So in Avomance's, he only made this like a 3-wide platform. I like a lot of room, so I made mine 5. And then I put the wall on the outside, and I gave it a bottom because I like things to be complete. And I did that around the sides as well, as you will see in the video. For the funnel part, Avomance did 4 blocks tall for each layer. And I watched another video, and I'll link that in my description as well as Avomance's video. But this other guy that I watched kind of made some improvements to Avomance's farms. Or this farm in particular. And he found that magma cubes can jump more than 4 blocks. So he recommended doing 5 or 6. I did 6 for most layers. I did 5 on one layer because I thought I would run out of glass. And then in Avomance's video, he has this platform go out 9 blocks from the central ring where they all drop down, and then he put his wall on that 9th block. I went out an extra block, so I went out 10 and put my wall on the 10th block out. So I've got a 9 block platform where they can spawn instead of just an 8. And I probably ended up using way more materials than Avomance had in his video. I probably used half as much as what he listed in there, or more. So I would definitely recommend doing the 5 or 6 blocks if you're going to do this on your own and follow Avomance's tutorials. He also had pillars on the inside of the block as decoration. I took those out on the recommendation of that other video, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but those pillars on the inside decrease spawn area, and so taking it out does increase your spawns just a little bit. As you can tell, we've got lots of them in here. And my iron golems up there. For the glass ceiling, I probably put more blocks in than Avomance had, just to be on the safe side. Looks like I missed a spot, but that shouldn't. I don't think that'll make a difference. Yeah, because it's over the centralized hole, so that shouldn't give it a spawning area. I do recommend putting glass over the iron golem, otherwise these magma cubes could potentially jump up on top of him and kill your iron golem. Some stuff I learned while doing this is Avomance, when he did his, he did this inner ring where they would fall down around the iron golem. He did the outer ring. He filled the platform in, then he did his walls, then he did his glass ceiling. And I would recommend doing the rings, the inner and the outer ring. I would do the walls. I covered everything in glass, if you can see it during my time lapse, but I would recommend doing the walls. I did that as I was doing the outer ring just to save myself an extra step, I guess. Same amount of time, but less times I have to go around the circle, if you know what I mean. And then I would do the glass ceiling, and then I would fill in. And I did parts, so I sort of did it in quarters. So I would do the glass ceiling for one side and fill in the platform. And I would kind of wall it off just so that if things spawned here while I was in other places, they couldn't get to me. And then I took the walls out as when I was done or as I moved to other places on the platform. But that's what helped me the most the second time around, and it turned out really good. This is, like I said, the farmiest thing that I've ever done, by far the biggest thing I've ever built, and it's really cool in my opinion. And I just love the sound of all that experience. And we're in a basalt delta, which is where you need to build one of these farms. So in a basalt delta, only ghast and only these guys spawn. So that's why you need a non-spawnable platform for the ghast. Not only do they do damage with their fireballs, but they can decrease the spawn rate. So still really cool, really proud of myself. All right, so we're going to head down. Another thing I did is I kind of cleaned up my perimeter here. You don't really need a perimeter. I just like having one, and I like lighting things up a bit. So down here, I just kind of outline the chunks that this farm comes through. So I wanted to make sure that I had a clear idea of the chunks that would be loaded when I'm here. I don't really think there's another farm that I could put here, but it's helpful for me, I guess, to know where my chunks lie. See why things might not be spawning. I should have done that before I built the farm, but anyway. And I took out the nether portal. It didn't really lead to a place that I wanted to have anymore, so I took that out, and then just kind of, like I said, I did a border around the chunks that this farm kind of sits in, and I covered this with glass. I don't know why this one has cobble. I thought I had glass all the way through. But that's covered up so nobody can fall down that hole. All right, so I will cut back when I'm back at the base. I'll go back through the nether, and then I'll kind of show you what I've got planned for the base and some things that I've been working on. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're back at the base. I haven't done a whole lot inside. I put up an enchanting table with some bookshelves so that I can do a little bit of enchanting. But yeah, I haven't done a whole lot inside. Oh, gotta sleep. Nope, it's just a thunderstorm. So with the magma blocks, I'm gonna change out the elevators and kind of fix them up once I sort of get other stuff in place. So with this big hole, I'd like to put, I've got a carrot farm up there. I'd like to put a carrot farm down in here with maybe like a potato farm too, and then have like the bank of elevators like in this area like they are right now, but maybe do like a flips, like a block flipper like Mumbo's done in some of his videos. Other people have done them too, but there's a way that you can, with some redstone, you can swap out that soul sand for a magma block for your elevator, so it only takes one spot. I might do that, depends on how much room between floors I've got. But I want one to stop here so that I can get into these farms, and then one to go down to get into the slime farm. And I'll be taking probably this stuff out too and placing them somewhere else. But I want at least a couple layers of the potatoes and carrots for farming, so that I have stuff to trade with villagers. And then, yes, I know, holy torch spam, Batman. So I started clearing out the hill in front of my, I guess, current entrance. This may still have an entrance into it, but I plan on moving the entrance on the other side of here. We'll go take a look at that. But I kind of have visions of a wall coming through and then like a gradual up into the mountains, or maybe something a little bit like a retaining wall and then like the cliffside. Oh look, we've got a trader over here. What does Mr. Trader have to sell? Well, that's funny. So these are mini blocks. I'm not particularly into the mini block thing, but ooh, oh no, that's coral. I thought that was sponges for a minute there. Sponges are useful for taking out water. get lost. Anyway, like I said, I'm a big fan of lighting things up, so that's why there's this spam torch, or torch spam. But I don't know if I want to do a gradual or just like a stark wall. I have visions of maybe like putting a waterfall in there and having like a place for the garrison to grab water. And it would be behind. That's why I'm kind of thinking maybe a retaining wall, because if I had a wall that came up here and it was flat, maybe I could hide the waterfall a little bit, but they could still see out just a tiny bit. I still haven't decided. I don't like that it's dark there. Okay. Lots of stuff to figure out. And then I finished digging this out for my inefficient baby squid farm. Because I like black dye. I will probably be using a lot of black dye. And I just want to, I know it's not going to be the most efficient thing, but you know, having some squid ink or some fish would be a good thing. Because I use salmon for my dinner right now anyway. Let's go ahead and sleep. So yeah, watch your step, because that's a big drop. To get all the way out to bedrock, so I had some room for stuff. I'll be moving my sugarcane farm. Haven't decided where, but it's gonna move for sure. Probably someplace I'll be working a lot. So up here is the other side of my mountain. I didn't realize this until a while ago, but this is the mountain Zedaf is in, and Tanko's stuff is over where Vilema is. Pretty sure. And then, of course, Impulse's base would be out in the ocean there if we were on the Hermitcraft server. But I want to put like a grand entrance, like a, make this like a fortified city. So I might end up digging out more of the mountain, but having like a huge gate complex here leading out, with a pathway leading out here. And I want to put like a lighthouse somewhere over here with like a fishing dock and maybe a couple boats. And then we've got kind of an empty village over here. Well, it's not kind of empty, it is empty. So I could talk to my server mates and see if they've got any plans for the village over here. Just kind of takes a little while to swim. Should have brought a boat. So right there is kind of, it's the empty village. It's, but I was thinking we could have it, I could have it wrap around, or maybe just take up this peninsula, because it looks like there's a river here, and then do like, I was kind of thinking that island there for the lighthouse, and like a fishing dock area in that area, straight out from the entrance, or a wharf. It could be big enough for a wharf. And then just having like the sleepy little village here. And it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of digging out. But maybe we could put something here, like a statue, or maybe another lighthouse. Or a fort. Probably a fort. That would be cool. Just kind of have a watchtower. But yeah. So if you go over here, and I like the fact that it's got this little bridge over. But if you go over here, there's like no villagers. And it looks like there was a raid here at one point, or maybe two. But there's no villagers. The houses are still here. The original farms that spawned in are still here. And obviously I'd probably like flatten it out a little bit, or maybe tear it up so it's on the same level. That, I guess it doesn't have to be on the same level, but make a path from the village here to the gated entrance that I'm going to be making around the mountain. And then I'll have a fortified city in the mountain. But this has some cool terrain too. There's kind of that overhang there. We've got some holes that could be filled in. But yeah, sort of make this a city that pays tribute or something to that. And I'll be putting villagers in here when I get my villager breeder up. Any of the villagers that I don't want, I'll probably stick in this village. Sugarcane. And I'll probably put some of my manual farms up here too with the village. Like I had, in my base I have 2 wheat farms, but you could do the same thing with a beet. But maybe put my manual farms out here and then give the villagers homes alongside the crops. Sort of like a farming situation. But yeah, big plans. And it looks like stuff goes out this way. So we've got room that we can explore and do things with. I'd like to upgrade the docks here a little bit. There's some things you can do with dispensers that would put out one of the little boats like we use for, like the little dinghies we use to boat around. That would be cool, and this would be small enough that those could be like little fishing boats. And then the wharf would have the big boats. But yeah, those are the plans. Lots to do. And a little bit that I've done so far, but still lots to do. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of the day.